All right, man. Guess what, man? We back. I know we're a little bit late, running behind time, but I had to do some things. But I'm good. Man, I'm happy to be back every Monday. The re-entry journey where we highlight, we broadcast, we showcase. What I'm saying? People that's got out of prison that took the step to make sure that they're not gonna come back. This week, man, I got a very special guest. Me and this brother, we was in the federal holdover together. We end up going to the federal prison together. We had some good debates on many different things in the holdover, whether it was religion or business or music or whatever. But I'm telling you, when somebody got out and stuck to the script and stood on what they believe in and what they got their faith in and what they was going to do, this brother did it. I'm gonna introduce this brother. This brother is Kyle Hollins. I call him Hollins because that's what we know each other as. He might call me fool, so don't pay attention to that. It's just a name that we had the name. So right. But we both got out. We elevated. I'm really proud of this brother. I'm watching his moves every day. Go ahead and tell him about yourself, Kyle, man.
Hey, first of all, man, thank you for the opportunity, fool, man. Fool been tying my shoes up for a long time now. I'm telling you, for a couple years, over 6-7 years, man. So shout out to that. But me personally, I've been in federal prison, been in state prison, federal prison, jail all the way up. We all know the story. Did 90 months in the federal penitentiary and just got home 2019 in February. Since then, I have actually I started a non-for-profit called the Lyrics Institute. I got a promotional company called On Point Entertainment. I've spoken in front of a crowd of 5,000 people. Just really I'm really, really big on thought. You know what I mean? Changing your thought process. I think me and Fu kind of agree with this. You can have all the tools and the access in the world, but if your mind state is the same, then you're going to get the same results. Trauma, struggle, heartache, pain, all of that is real. We all endure it. We all face it, but how we deal with it is it's kind of like it determines, our trajectory in the world. And a lot of times when it's not checked, it's not learned, it's not understood. It ends us up in federal penitentiary, as me and Fu both already know. You know what I mean? So just been really working on that, banging that out, and we finally just about 2 weeks ago got our exemption status for the program after about a very, very short 9 months. And God really just pushed that on through. So, whenever God got a vision and a destiny on your life, things kind of move a little quicker than some to other situations. So, just been kind of grinding with that, man. A little bit about me.
Right. So, I really want to say, man, when we was in Bates County, the environment that we in, a lot of guys wasn't moving the way that me and you were moving, right. And one way that you was moving in certain principles that you stood on no matter what. You know what I'm saying? You were arguing, up and down, and you stood on that. Why was it important for you to stand tall and hold fast in what you believed in your faith and your belief in self, your faith in Jesus, your faith in God? Why was that important as far as it pertains to once you got released?
You and I both know how hard that was. You know what I mean? We both know how hard that was. But on some real talk, like I didn't have nothing else, fool. I ain't have nothing else. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be dead with you. Everybody left, bro. I graduated from high school homeless. I struggled with abandonment to the fullest. You know what I mean? Like it's really real for me. Like, and bro, when I got in there, like everything, the little things that I did have, bro, that was gone. And I actually felt community and family when I, submitted on that CCA floor. You know what I mean? And bro, after that, it was just like he just showed up, man. It was the realest thing I really ever experienced, bro. So like that's why I held on to that. Like I held on, man. I started elevating like mentally things that I was seeing, how I was looking at my life, man. He just opened up some stuff. But then on the back end piece, when it came to like we debated politics and Black Lives Matter. You know, that was like the kickoff when we were locked up. But that was one of our biggest arguments. You know what I'm saying? So just standing firm on it, because for so long, fool, like I wore a mask out in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I wore a mask out in the streets, and I felt like I was finally me, and I was gonna stand on being me. You know what I'm saying? Like I could finally be, like I had an opportunity. I didn't like going to jail. Them niggas left. So in my mind, fool, I'm gonna be G with you. It was like I finally got a chance to not have to prove nothing. I ain't got to show nobody nothing. Like they gon' call. Who do you want to be? Like what do you want to image yourself after and teach your kids and have this legacy? Because I was starting to understand legacy and the power of, you know what I mean, generations. And I'm like, whoa, like I got control. Like I can change the. And once I found that was possible, bro, it changed my whole resolve on what I chose to stand for. And trust and believe, I had conflicts. I was in my cell banging my head on the wall, like, hey, how everybody against me? Like, how everybody, like, every fool, you know, like, how everybody? How is it just like am I the only one thinking? And for real, bro, I had followed behind my plug for so long, like I was free to stand, like. You know, like people don't really understand that because like they still be having ties to the streets, and I just and what I thought was a curse, like I'm lonely in here. It actually was an opportunity. Like he works it out for our good because fool, like being able to detach from all my ties and all my responsibilities, I had no obligation. I had nobody to prove nothing to. I had nobody. My biggest struggle today, fool, and this is on everything, is I went in and came out a totally different person. So I had to relearn who I am in society because I developed my identity in prison. You know what I'm saying? Like the way that I like my routines, like I get out here and I be freaking out sometimes because I'll be like, my routine, like how do I get back to my routine? Like I ain't doing what I used to do. And I'm learning how to be Kyle, how to be this Christian man, this man that got this not-for-profit, got 3 kids, and you know, like just trying to be a man and what I feel like a man is, bro. It's like it's a struggle.
Right. I very much understand that because I always tell, like when I be doing the reentry, I always tell a lot of guys that when you get out, you're gonna have to determine whether you're gonna be a criminal or you're gonna be a civilian. You know, what are you gonna be? I mean, it's two different. You can't be a criminal and a civilian. That don't work like that. And making that transition into being from a criminal to a civilian, you get to understanding more things about yourself, and you see things on a whole new different that you never seen before. So, well, why is it important for, like, you got people that's tuning in right now, they might just got out or they got some family members that's finna get out. Why was it important for you to not have to wear that mask no more? Because that's the same way that's like we was doing the same fight in different cells. You see what I'm saying? Like, man, I ain't got to be this to know, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got to be this. I ain't got to hold up this image no more because I'm really finding self. Why is it important?
Finding self.
Yeah, I'm finding self. Like, I don't have to wear this mask. So for those that's tuning in, why is it important to remove that mask before you even re-enter into society?
Because that mask comes with responsibilities.
Man.
And it's some of them responsibilities you can't afford to give back up. You know what I'm saying? That mask come with, I got to bounce out on this dude because dude, you know what I'm saying? That's the homie. Like, you got to put that mask on. You got to put that tough guy animosity. I'm walking around telling people, like, you got to put, there's too many consequences with it. Like, bro, just recreate it and had an opportunity this time to recreate our identity. It doesn't have to, like, you do not have to do criminal. You do not have to live a criminal lifestyle. You really do not have to live a criminal lifestyle. I don't know how else to slow it down or speed it up, fool. You don't. Like it's, even though we laughing about it, like in the back of somebody's mind, it's like, you know what? But if I ain't got it, then I'm just going, listen to me. It's only 1.4 million people that are in the justice system, like 1.5, almost like 2 million people in the justice system. That's on probation, parole, all that. 2 million. That's a lot. That's a lot compared to the world. But it's 2 million and some billion people that would never do anything or think like how you think. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to put it into perspective. You're not, like, we create these worlds, fool. We create these worlds, and within psychologically what we do is we bring things to us that agree with us. things that agree with us, we hold it close. But the only issue with holding that type of people that agree, you create a reality and then you box yourself into that reality. Like in my, like, you know, we always used to say, well, the government didn't want us to sell dope because it was what? Because they couldn't tax it. Remember, that was everybody's
the old
definition,
thing, yeah.
right? Yeah. But once that definition becomes so solidified, what you do is you create justifications for that. Then it's like it really makes sense. Like, you're not gonna have a trash justification for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So you got this trash justification on this trash reality, and you boxed in. That's the mask, like that's the whole mask. Like, man, it's not even real. It's so much bigger than that. It's so much bigger than that. Like, statistically, it's so much bigger than that. And when you take it off and you build your reality in this other broader reality, bro, I'm telling you, like, it's a whole nother lifestyle. It's scary as hell. Bro, it come with real life sacrifices. It comes with choices. It comes with dedication. It just comes with a lot. But I'm telling you, when I promise you, fool, it is the experience, bro. The experience of people that I run into, man. When you just watch $10,000, $15,000 just drop off, like, yo, we believe. My man told me, he said, bro, I don't know how you do it. Thank you. He was like, I don't know how you do it, bro. You ain't even got the program all the way together, and you got people donating to you. No, I don't. I don't know how. You know what I'm saying? But it's the journey, bro. It's the journey of the heartache and the pain, bro. Take that joint off. Just take it off, put it down, bro, and just, bro, you're made in God's image. Create. Just create. What do you want to do?
Man, yeah, you got to remove that mask. If you want to get out and succeed, you got to remove that mask. That image that you've been trying to uphold, man, it really ain't you. You got to let it go, you know. And then you got to also surround yourself with people that's going to hold you accountable and that want to see you, not the mask, want to see you succeed and grow, because they know what you have to offer the world. You know, how was your support system? How was the people that you surrounded yourself with? Once, because when I got out, man, I'm tell you, like, I didn't surround myself with but I mean, I was just a loner in my room, focused on, like, I was still in my cell when I first got out, making sure I got all the paperwork. I'm looking over all the paperwork I had. I've still got my vision board, you know, because I had to make sure. Yeah, so I had to make sure that I just couldn't not know anybody around me, because I protected myself, and I learned that it was something that I learned, and that was to value me.
There you go.
You know, so what was your support system like when you first came home?
I ran through a lot of support systems.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll be honest with you. I ran through a lot. And this is why. Is because everybody that I was real tight with when I was down, that was my mentors and stuff like that. You know, when I came home, I was moving so quick that they kept saying slow down. They kept saying like pace yourself. But in my mind, it was like nah, like, just tell me what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? Because what I found out was they didn't really understand how much work went into 6.5 years of planning. They didn't see that. Right. So they didn't understand, like, why I was like, I need step 4 and 5, because they're under the impression young black guy dreads straight out of penitentiary, he needs step 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, you know what I mean? And I burnt out some really, really good people. And I had to finally grow up and take responsibility for that. You know what I mean? Because I needed to stay teachable. Even though they were saying something I already knew, I should have shut up and just paid attention. But then because I did that, what I started doing was I started running after people, you know what I'm saying, that I thought were the people that I needed to be in my life. And really that was just me trying to do something too fast, when God was like, yo, I'm going to place people. And what ended up happening was I started going through the journey and going through the struggles, and then it would just be a person that I met a month or two ago, seeing me, and I never see them, but then we finally met at this convention, and all of a sudden they're like, yo, I've been following you, I've been wanting to get with you, hey, listen, meet me at such and such and such and such, and here's the game. And then I hold them people close, so I do events with people. So it's so crazy, because it's like a thin line, fool. It's like, because when you're going out there to chase after people or mentors and stuff like that, you got to always remember you still have a level of criminality in your mind. Like, you might be shaping in your mind, it might be you need such and such and such and such and such, and it's not even what you really need. So sometimes you got to take the journey through it, and you'll run into the right people. Because I had a board, and bro, nobody on my first board is around here, period. And because I went after them. You know what I'm saying? I went after people that I thought like they were supposed to look like this, and really they was just hood people that had a mouthpiece. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, it was like this is the legit version of, but there was no paperwork, there was no logistics, there was no follow up, there was no consistency, there was no money management. It was just it looked good, but I was basing it off of having a bad chick that could get in the club and go get you something. You know what I mean? I just need to be pretty and have a mouthpiece. So take the journey, chase people, find a balance. Sometimes I think honestly, fool, man, and I know some people don't like to do it, but find your mentor in a book. Find your mentor in a book. You know what I'm saying? Find your mentor. Like my mentor, I didn't have a real mentor, so Martin Luther King became my mentor. Like his method, his strategy, understanding that he was hated by his own people at times, and he really like his philosophies. Like I got his philosophy books down here. Like I found a mentor in a book, and just studied him, and then for real, bro. When I came home and just took the journey, bro, that's when everybody like if you don't have accountability, bro, I'm with you, fool. Like if nobody's telling you that you're making a bad decision or you need to rethink, bro, there's no sharpening going on. So, bro, you just really just closing yourself off, and it's really kind of fearish. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to hear that you're doing it wrong. I'm afraid to say I'm doing it wrong.
Man. So yeah, it's crazy how you said you found your mentor in the book, because I found my mentor in YouTube videos and Instagram. And the crazy part is because they and the crazy part is, man, I end up without forcing, I just let it come together. I end up actually meeting and the people that I chose as mentor. Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Just by watching them, whether it was business or whether it was just, I'm talking about like the Eric Thomases. I was telling you like David Shands. Like I watched his entrepreneurship one-on-ones to really figure out how to build my business, even though I sat behind the prison walls and studied business, and but this was somebody who was actually in business, who transitioned from working at a cheesecake factory to building $1 million t-shirt brand, and then I just binge watched his entrepreneurship one-on-ones, and that was my mentor. Every day I'm getting up watching his videos or listening to Eric Thomas or Inky Johnson, and then later on down the road, it became I found myself into Dave's group, and then on the calls was your Eric Thomases, your Inky Johnsons. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, man. So it wasn't no force play. I just sit back and just.
Hey, that's how it happened.
Man, it's crazy. Yeah. So you was talking about your board. Those that's tuning in might not know what you mean by your board. But go ahead and tell them about your board and what you do with your nonprofit.
So this is my director's board is the one I'm talking about. There's two of them. Is when you have a non-for-profit, you get to write your bylaws and your articles of incorporation and all that stuff. You understand the value and importance of a board and the decisions that they make, in their positions. But what I was talking about was the director's board, and the director's board, like when you're building your organization, it's too many mechanisms for just even if it's one little bitty thing. If you want it to succeed, you need mechanisms to it. So you got your HRs, your executive directors. It's just like I got the whole organizational chart over there. But the point of them is like if you're the CEO, they're going to be like your tentacles into the company. You pass it down to the so the CEO passes it down to the COO, and then the COO passes it down to the rest of them. That's basically it.
Right. And with the board. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking about the board. You kind of really got to when you're trying to make that transition and re-enter back into society, you really got to have a board. Surround yourself with a board, not on the business sense, just you know what I'm saying for advisement.
That's what the board is. Yeah. The board is really like by definition the top board. See, I was just talking about like the board of directors, you know what I mean? But like the top board are the people that be like that you have to have percentages in to say whether you can or you can't, or you should or you shouldn't. You know what I mean? Them are the people, everybody in there is not nobody's in there should be a yes man. Nobody. You know what I mean? And I've watched like city council boards do it, and everybody has their own independent thinking, and you need that around you. You do not need if you do not need a yes man. I'm not. I feel
No,
like
you don't need
if
no
you
yes
know,
man.
like you don't
You
need a yes man.
You need them people that they're gonna tell you something and you're gonna be like it's almost gonna start an argument, and it might do start an argument because they're firm in what they standing in and they have the knowledge, and sometimes you just don't want to hear it.
Right.
You think you know, and then in reality, even though you may know, you just might not know.
No, yeah, you're right.
You need them people. So how did you transition from walking out of prison into getting into what you got into, the things that you into now? Like somebody says, man, this is what he doing. I wonder how he got into that. What steps did he take? What did he do?
For real, bro, I'm gonna be totally 100 with you. It goes back to everything we talked about. Everything that I did coming home was already post jail. It was like everything I did in jail coming home. Like, so what ended up happening was, my lawyer brokered a deal with the prosecutor in the state for I had a 10-year sentence. I had a Class A and a Class B trafficking, where they took the remand off of drugs in the state. So you could either do 0 to 100. You know what I mean? It was always up to the probation or however it was when they took the remand off of drugs. And so what happened was they gave me the 4-month on St. Joe at the treatment facility. You know what I'm saying? I'll do 4 months there. I could cancel out my 10-year sentence. So what ended up happening was that 4-month program was a cognitive behavior therapy program, right? And this is how it all started out. This is how I promise you. This is how it all started. I got caught in the car with an AK-47 in the back of a rental, right? And I was on the SIS, and you really ain't got a felony then. You know what I'm saying? But it's just there. So I got caught with a gun on the midst of that. You know what I'm saying? And so I got back to my PO. My PO gonna take me to jail, but he just ain't booked me yet. So he's like, Kyle, what happened? And he's reading off the report of what they said. You know what I'm saying? He's like, so why are you in this car? And I told him, I was like, yo, it's my homeboys. It's my homeboys' gun. Yeah. He was like, so why do y'all? Why did you feel like y'all needed it? I was like, well, we went to this after hours, and we went to the after hours. You know what happens at the after hours? You know what I mean? And he said to me, he was like, so you telling me that you go to a place where you know there's a possibility to get killed at, and you go there for fun? Like, that's where you went for fun. So, in my mind, I'm blowing on him, man, whatever, man. Like this is Kansas City. Everybody carry your gun. He's like, well, do your mama carry your gun? I'm like, no, she don't live his life. So, and then it was like, he looked at me from across the desk, and it was just like think that through, like think it all the way through. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I realized like my thinking was skewed. Like my whole thought process was like jacked up, but I wouldn't let him get it. You know what I mean? But then I went to the program, and this is why him and my PO and my lawyer came together, and my PO backed me because they knew that I would function well with that type of, thought process, because I had been dealing with it for 2 years. Mm-hmm. So what ends up happening is I do the 4-month there. I leave there, go to the feds. They change my Fed number. I go to the feds. I do the 18th month at Leavenworth, Life Connections, cognitive behavior therapy, all over again, right? So what I ended up doing was I took the program already understanding the idea, like kind of philosophies of psychology, because I had to go to school or whatever. So I understood the formulas, like how they were getting to where they were getting in the procedure, but I didn't know how to run a program. So the last year and a half of the program, what I did was I got a job for the program, and I was able to see how it was ran behind the scenes. I was the head office clerk, and I was able to look at the billing, order forms, do their class reports, look how the structure, how many students are put in there. I'm talking about worksheets, everything, bro. I just came home, I made a box in my cell, and it was like a file cabinet, you know what I'm saying, of all the, like, if it's all emotional intelligence, if it's all this, to the point where, bro, I got so cold with the teaching mechanisms by just learning how they was doing it and just already being like a teacher at heart. You know what I'm saying? I did the minimum influence with Ms. Rivera. Bro, graduated. I did it one time, bro, and graduated the highest rate of inmates from that program, which was 30 people at the time. You know how hard it is, and it might not sound like nothing to nobody else, but getting 30 inmates not to go, not I didn't do it, but to finish a 3-month program. Not all of them, you know what I mean? It started out more than that, but go to the hole, get caught with something, or just don't care about the class at all. Like, you know, forget it, I ain't coming back. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We got 30, and the class before that was like 12. You know what I mean? So I realized like I had this niche. So really, I started perfecting it. I didn't need to go. I got shipped to Arizona. I didn't need to take this class, bro. I didn't need to take this class. But bro, I took RDAT. I took RDAT, bro. Just did it again because it's the whole new theory that's getting pushed is cognitive behavior therapy. Took the class, learned a whole different mechanism of it. You know what I'm saying? It ended up in the last 3 months of the class, what's the name, really working for the program again, right? Teaching classes and doing all of that. So where I went to school and did my research, I was incarcerated. I just used my environment as my teaching facility. You know what I'm saying? So when I came home, it was just like, cognitive behavior therapy is. What I realize is my thought process is jacked up, and I got the same thought processes like everybody in America. The difference between them and us is there's thinking errors and there's criminal thinking errors. And criminal thinking errors are the errors that lead you, like, I'm robbing a bank. Like, everybody thinks, there's people that think about robbing a bank, but there's a criminal thinking error that comes in your cognitive design and your cultural design that it devalues the consequence. Where in the normal state, everybody else's consequence would be like, it'd be a red flag. So just being conscious that I'm constantly got to battle myself, my self-thoughts, and just by doing that, I realized like everybody needs this. It's not just me. It's like everybody struggles with this. It's not just criminals and not, but it's really, really bad with criminals. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we got to get this away. Like, this is $30,000. Like, it was $30,000 for us to sit in that space. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is $30,000 worth of information, bro. To whom much is given, much is required. Like, I got to do something with this. So I came home, started Lyrics Institution, which is cognitive behavior therapy based learning with the chance to master the creative arts. And the creative arts aspect is from ballet, tap, jazz, photography, anything in the creative arts. And one of the greatest components about what we do is about 3 things. One, we umbrella cognitive design. So we're not just anger management. We're not just victims impact. We're not just knowing the brain or emotional intelligence. We umbrella all of them. We have a curriculum that teaches all of them. And then one of our other things is we're culturally relevant. Like, we use memes, we use YouTube. It's not just a bunch of paperwork, and we use visuals. We use and then the last part is we run it like a corporation, so they get a business feel. What we believe is like without an environment to walk out the tools in, they're just kind of like these things you think about. So what we ended up doing was we created a corporation. So all the creative arts have to come together and put on an event. It's going to be our annual fundraising event. It's like our big fundraising event for the program. And what that actually does is it allows them to create conflict, create the trauma. Becky don't like Susie. Susie ain't listening, but they also learn how to work across departments. They learn how to effective communication, logistics, paperwork, promotion. They do the whole rig. So that's how I learned. That's what I came out and did.
So yeah, so I mean, you got out, and I mean, you took what you learned, you took what you studied, you took it, and when you got out, you applied yourself. It's certain things that while we was locked up, like whether it's Bates County or Leavenworth, that I used as man, I'm not gonna go through this no more. I used it as a kind of like a thing to say, just because this right here, I'm not gonna go through this no more. Outside of just the whole process of the federal system, period. Like, I'm greater than this. So I'm gonna throw a name out there, man, because this person was one of the things. Like, man, I'm not gonna go through this no more. And I'm gonna tell me what you got from this name, Sergeant Barry. Man, this is one reason. Like, man, I'm not gonna go through this no more, man. I refuse to. I put myself in a situation where I got to deal with something like this.
Thanks.
Man.
No, you ain't never.
It's kind of like when they say Michael Jordan when the Last Dance, they say Michael Jordan just used any and every little thing to like kind of have a grudge to come out and and demolish you the next game. Like they said, the dude that scored like 30 points on Michael Jordan and said, "Good game, Mike." Well, they said he really didn't say it, but he said Michael Jordan said it, and Michael used that for the next game. That's kind of how it was. It was like little things in the side of the whether it's Bates County or Leavenworth that I use. Like, man, I'm not going just because of this. I'm not going. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going. And Sergeant Berry was one of them, man. Like, man, I'm not gonna go through this no more, man.
Already. Oh, man. You know what mine is, bro? It's not funny. Mine isn't funny, but and I never thought about this until you said so, bro. Like, what is it that makes me just cringe at the idea of jail? Bro, it was really hard to walk my Christianity out, bro. It was not easy, bro. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to make cultural change.
And I know how firm, you know what I'm saying, that you stood in your Christianity.
Yeah, man. I wouldn't to be me and be safe, because it wasn't safe to do. I can't listen, bro. It was, I made it out of, I got cops, had some fights, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But like, bro, it's too hard to, it's just not safe, bro. It's not safe. It's not safe to really walk it out the way you need to walk it out. Now, I'm not saying there ain't dudes that are walking it out, bro. I'm not saying that, but it's a difference between walking it out in your cell and then saying, yo, I'm firmly resolved that this is how I'm going to carry myself. That's a different monster, bro. Right. That's persecution. That's character development 101 right there. And bro, it was too hard. And it's crazy because it's too easy out here, but it was just too hard. It was too hard, bro. And I just resent, like, in my mind, it's like I just don't like the feeling, and every day I got to be on my tippy toes because somebody thinks somebody has some idea, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that's not gonna stop me from speaking. That's not gonna stop me from being out and being mobile. You know what I mean? I show mine. You know what I'm saying? Right. So like I could walk freely if I want to. So my thing was I just wanted the atmosphere just to be safe enough. Like if I want to walk around with this Bible, I can walk around with it without somebody thinking that they're gonna pull one over on me and things like that. Like the hypertension of jail. It wasn't even just being Christian. Like when the pan fell in the kitchen. Like I just couldn't. I was over the hypertension of it. Like you just gotta be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you just right. I mean, it just it's crazy because when you really think about how the environment. I was having a conversation with a guy the other day. He didn't understand. I did a video one time and I was talking about the cars inside the federal prison, and he didn't understand. And I was telling him it's crazy because if you look at it, you got all these people that are in the same situation, under the same conditions, that we end up segregating ourselves, not just color-wise, but within the color. But we are all going through the same process. We are all oppressed, but we are oppressing each other. I said that's the mentality that somebody, I don't know who started it, but wherever down the prison line this first happened, that they created this. Now this is a monster amongst of all the monsters inside of a prison. You would think everyone that's in the same conditions, you know what I'm saying, almost going through the same thing. Some people got more time than others, but we're going through the same. We got to wake up in here every day. We're using the same showers. We're going to the same chow hall. We're going to the same canteen. We walk in the same yard. We got the same jumps, shoes, and everything else, you know, that we should be able to lock in, but we are oppressing each other off of the system to somebody, whoever, I don't know who came up with it, the cars or whatever. But I said, man, that you think about the mentality, man, and bro, to be able
they call it Tavis Stock, bro. So the syndrome is called Tavis Stock. So what it is you got a group of people or whatever, or animals. They do it with animals. They run with people, whatever. I give it an analogy. So what they do is they give them the choices, right? And the people in their mind think that they really have a lot of choices. You know what I'm saying? But in actuality, I'm giving you the parameters. Like either one you take is what I want you to do. You know what I'm saying? So what happens is you go into these prison systems, and the thing is, you can control the masses when they're segregated. Like the system, somebody brought it in, but whoever it is thought it through or whatever, but realized like if I keep them separate, they'll have to eventually bang each other. But that means that I don't have to control 1,100 people. I just have to control 7. If 7 people control their own 40 people, 40,000, whatever many people, then I win. So it's like, not because keep it real, it's the feds. If the feds didn't want it to happen, it would not be happening. It just because it doesn't happen in the state. You know what I'm saying? It used to be like that, but then they broke it up. So apparently it's something. And the difference between the state prison and the federal prison is the state will beat up your body, but the feds will beat up your mind. And there's a different level of thinkers that are in the feds. So they have to play chess with chess. You got to realize like the feds are where masterminds go. Like I'm not saying that to be saying anything. Like I ain't everything, you know what I'm saying? But that's where organized criminals go. That's where the dude that was the pirates and been stealing stuff in bombers, and this is the federal system you're talking about here. So they mind rape you. They play with your thought process. They ship you away from all your family, and they just do all this stuff to play with your mind. And like bro, like shifting out of that, like that process is impossible when you're not thinking outside of the process. If you're not thinking outside of the prison, because when you get there, guess what it feels like? It feels like gangland. It feels like home. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is my car. This is who I rock with. They gonna rock with me. It's ride or die. Everybody in here about the life. We all want to be this certain. So like, nigga, you done box yourself. Like, you come in thinking that you're winning when actuality you're being controlled. They giving you 2 choices.
Right.
You're in control. You know what I'm saying? Man. That's the nature of it. And once I started wrapping my mind around the structure of it, you know what I mean? Like the box that we sit in. Well, that's when I started realizing, like, bro, if they've invested that much into our thought process, bro, we have to do the exact same thing.
Yeah, you and more.
Because we're starting behind the starting line.
Because we starting behind. Yeah. with no knowledge of true self, and that's the whole thing. So I know you did a lot of reading when while you was incarcerated. What was your favorite book that you read while you was incarcerated?
Mastery by Robert Greene. Ask anybody. Mastery by Robert Greene. You know what it did? It taught me how to steal information from any and everything. It literally taught me how to be a mentor. A mentee. It taught me how to be a mentee. It taught me how to study my surroundings and be able to pull logical information from my surroundings and reason it. Greatest book. It really servitude. It taught me how to think servitude, to get information. Like people, listen. I don't know what to say.
All right, so
I don't know what else to say. I don't know. Look, bro. I came home and bought.
Man, came with it. It's not a game.
It's not a game.
So we're talking about servitude, and so we want to talk about you. say this. You've been saying this here. I've been seeing you on Facebook, and you talk about service equals king. Oh, yeah. Break that down to the people that's tuning in.
You can't lead people till you understand the condition of the people. It's impossible. It's impossible. And what you end up getting is you get mandatory minimums of 101 crack disparity. You get when you lead people that you don't understand, you get welfare that cripples the people instead of empowers them to be better. Because you don't understand like the thought process of survival. So you introduce this new thing, and what you didn't plan on was these people turning this new thing into an actual job. See, now in their mind, they're working a job. You keep telling them get a job, they're like, this is the hustle. You know what I mean? Right. I don't know what you mean. Like, duh. But right. they didn't when they put that in, they honestly they couldn't know. There's no way for them to know. And bro, when I say a mind shift, like, bro, man, I wish I could put it into words. Like, I don't know, man. I kind of get. I'm gonna be honest with you. I kind of get sentimental on this fact. Like, bro, I don't know, man. I just just even thinking about that whole little process, bro. Because there's a story behind it, bro. Go ahead. You can ask another question.
So yeah, we've just service is king. I mean, that's really what it is. I was telling you earlier. I adapted that saying. It's not about what you gather, but what you scatter. You know, and it's going to tell you what kind of life that you had lived. You know, and I think that's really important because even when I find myself mentoring someone, or even as a mentee, or working with people that's getting out of prison, or I go speak to like the youth bills and things like that, share my story. I feel like it's a must that some of these youngsters hear my story, you know, or hear your story, because they can. I mean, they can see where they at in the story. They can see where they could be at if they keep, you know what I'm saying, doing something. But they also can see where they can go as well. You know what I'm saying? So you looking at the story, okay, you young teenager, you in the streets right now, you come in, you tell your story, like, man, that's where I'm at. Talk about, oh, man, but this is what led me to prison. This is where I can go. This is what I'm doing now. This is what I can be. You ain't got to go through the route where this is where I can go part. You can say, okay, this is where I'm at. This is where I can be. I don't need that. I don't need to navigate inside of a prison, you know. And that's, to me, that's one part of my service. As far, I mean, I do things, and you know, so I go home, I do things in the community, you know, for the youth, Easter egg hunts, days in the park, and stuff like that. You know, little other things we do with our nonprofit, but I think the biggest service that I have is sharing my story to these youngsters out here, man, because it's like they caught in a situation right now where, I mean, it was glorified when we was coming up, but now I just ain't never seen nothing like it. Like it's in the media, it's there, and so every time you turned on, you got these rappers that getting killed. You know what I'm saying? It's a camera everywhere. You seeing fights, shootings, killings, all broadcasted. I mean, and that's what a lot of people broadcast to get their views up. And so you got a lot of teenager kids thinking that this is cool,
right,
you know, until they either in that situation. And now it's like it really ain't cool. So
right,
that's why I agree with the service is king. However you can serve, I think that, you know, everybody serves in they own way, but not
right.
just serving others, but to be successful in coming from prison and removing that mask and building something for yourself, you have to serve a higher power, whatever your higher power, like, well, if it's Jesus, if it's Noble Jew Ali, if it's Muhammad, if the guy, you have to serve. You
Right.
have to serve, you know, whatever it is that you
You have to
believe.
submit to something. You
You got
submit
to submit to something, yeah.
because
Because
otherwise, you if you in charge, you limited. You're a
you
finite
limit
creature.
it.
You're a
Right.
finite, so you can only create on what you know. It has to be
Exactly.
something bigger than you.
Right.
But I do want to say this though, bro. Like I kind of got sentimental with the situation because it's like this. Like this is how I figured out like servitude is how kings become kings, because it's in the services where the process is, bro. So what happened was my lady I'm dealing with, whatever, I'm locked up, gets pregnant. And I'm like, man, they didn't say my child, you know what I'm saying? And it was just, I'm battling with my Christianity. I'm talking about like struggling, bro. And I make this decision, like, I'm gonna take this child in, bro. The child has my last name and everything, bro. Like this is mine. Like, this is my child.
Right.
And since I've been home and taking care of her, like, this is my little one. She call me daddy. I know her. We know each other, right? But I had to make that decision, right? So check this out. In all the struggle that was going on, that we had to prep for this child to be born, psychologically, like, okay, we need to prepare for some stuff. Like, she's going to want to know who her daddy is. She's going to want to know this and this and that. So I had to go through all that processing, right? And so what happened was I ended up taking the care. She got my last name, bro. I come home and me and my dad started having a conversation. I come to find out that my father, his original father, isn't his father. You know what I'm saying? And I went through this journey of forgiveness, right? So empathy is inside of me. Like, I gotta, like, that's the only way you can truly forgive, is to understand the person. When a great writer says this, he says, when an enemy fully understands his enemy is the moment that he forgives his enemy, right? Because once you understand why because everybody's justified. Like, Saddam Hussein was justified in his own mind why he did what he did. It's just what happened was our justifications came into conflict and we beefing. So what ends up happening is your reality, like what you believe, whatever to be true, so you make it real, and that conflict kind of like sparks off this concept of like a failure of communication or whatever. So basically, what I'm saying is, I'll be rambling and stuff like that, bro. Forgive me, but what happened was my father had a lot of issues that he had went through, and I couldn't understand him because he just dumped all of that on me growing up. I couldn't figure out why he chose the decisions that he made. But once I understood from his perspective what it's like to have to make decisions for this type of child, man, it blew my mind. And that's why I kind of got like in my heart about it, was because I remember I was just thinking about the day that it clicked, that service shit mean kingdom. Like, you got to go through the process to get all the tools. So in scripture, it'll say, in one instance, it's like, God, don't give me too much that I may boast and forsake your name, but don't give me too little that I may steal and offend you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's a Proverb 30. Like, I don't know, it's like 1 and then 2. They're right next to each other. Right. And really, in essence, what it's kind of saying is like, bro, there's a balance, there's a wisdom to everything. Like, there's a wisdom, and wisdom is just this is just knowledge being applied at the appropriate time, length, measurement. It's like it's just not yes or no. It's not just right or wrong. Sometimes a choice is just a choice. So and you got to understand the wisdom in between. So like in the process of service is where the wisdom, the step-by-step mechanisms come. Like, and that's why mastery was so important to me, because it's in now that I know that the teaching happens in the process, in the service, I got to be focused on like, what am I supposed to be getting? Like, there's the guy that does what's the name? I need to be hopping in the car with him because and not know everything. What I need to go in here and I need to play dumb so that I don't offend him and let him think that I know too much. Let me play dumb and ask a bunch of silly questions, not silly questions, but like detailed little bitty questions. Because I always say this, fool. The smartest man in the room is not the one that with all the right answers. It's the man with all the right questions. I've learned that in this game, and I've learned that to be able to sit up under and glean information from good people, man. Bro, don't go knowing everything, because they'll get turned off. Like, because you know what it's like that to tell somebody, you be like, well, if you know it, why you come over here and ask me? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what to do.
Oprah Winfrey became a billionaire off questions.
I'm just feeling that. That's gonna be in something.
Oprah became a billionaire off asking questions, asking the right questions.
The video of that dude, the video that I did that service equals king. His name is Joey Cutts, man. He runs the No Joey Foundation. Dude took me up underneath his wing. We've been throwing we did the blackout day for July 7th, partnered with him and got all black businesses down on the Vine. And we were able to patronize. If you're not gonna spend money here, spend money in this community, we can recycle the dollar. You know, we went through that push, had the news down there, and he took me up under his wing and taught me how to do it the right way. So now I just sit up underneath him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a part of the councilman. Like, he teaches me policy, teaches me how, like I'm about to glean everything. You know what I'm saying? And what I do is I just do what he asks me to do. I do a service. Like he was like, bro, I just need you to get some footage or whatever. I'm like, all right, I got you. Yeah. And I create that. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to give it away. If you're a public speaker, give it away. Give your gift away, because I promise you, in the process of it, or you're going to run into everybody that you need. This goes back to me saying about my board. When I started doing the program instead of just talking about it, a different type of people came. You know what I'm saying? When I started, and that's what I mean by like, you got to be tried through fire, because now you done been through the struggle, right? You done been through your heartaches, your pain. You done been knocked down. You done try to figure it out. I done been to prison or whatever. But I got all this heady knowledge that these $30,000 people, but the disconnect between them and me is that I know how to relate. That's it, bro. That's it. I've been through it. That's it. Like, and once people kind of get their mind around, bro, your destiny is locked up inside you because of everything that you've been through. Your testimony, your story, like, that's why you have your story. It's not for you. It's not for you to be like the top of the. You got to get this thing away. Like, that's your job, because we all here to learn from each other.
Yeah, most definitely. You got to leverage your life. You know, I really appreciate you tuning in with us tonight, man. Joining us tonight, man. Dropping your knowledge, dropping your game, sharing your story with us. For those of you that's tuned in right now, if you got any questions, please type it in the chat, in the comments, and we will get it up. Toy Beasley, he says, no accountability, no recovery. Integrity speaks volumes. That's
shirt.
Yeah, that's facts right there. No accountability, no recovery. Integrity speaks volumes.
Bro, how you gonna fix something you don't know this broke?
Man,
If it ain't broke, why would you?
Some people ain't gonna admit that, and that's the one thing of being able to admit. You know what I'm saying? That it's broke. Like to admit that, man, my thought process was just messed up. Like I tell people like what we took as normal, standing in the kitchen with it. You got a gun on you, cooking dope, smoking weed in the house. That's not normal. That's not a normal life. So if a normal person walks in here and sees this, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be like, man, what is wrong with these people, man? What is it? And you think something wrong with them? Like, man, what's wrong? No, something's wrong with us because we normalize stuff that was nowhere near normal. You know,
it's just totally desensitized.
Just crazy, you know.
Craziness, bro. The craziness.
That's all the way
Bro,
crazy.
Do you know black people that live in the inner city are at a higher stress level than people that live in the suburbs due to gunshots, sirens, police being pulled over, violence, domestic, all of that. We live at a higher level of stress. So it's more common for us that live in the inner city to be angry, to flash, and be like, why didn't you think it through? You'd be like, we already hyper, we up there already. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. You don't even know you trapped in this thing. You don't even know it. How you gonna do something you don't even know? How, bro? It's like it's impossible.
Man, it's crazy, man. We can go on forever about man. We can go on forever about this. But unfortunately, we're gonna have to wrap this up, man. I really appreciate you. We need to stay in contact more. I need to make my way down there to the cities when you be having events because I'm just right up the street in St. Joe. You know, I left Sedalia. That was just part of my growth that I knew that I was going to have to do when I got out of prison was change my location and get around and do something new and it's crazy now because the people that I'm around as far as like I don't hang out with nobody really. So when I'm out and about, I'm doing business stuff. I'm hanging with a whole set of different group of people. Like if you look at the people that I used to hang around with and the people that I surround myself with now, like them two totally different. Like I never thought I'd
more because you went to a different place, bro. I always wanted to know that. Do you think it was a what's the philosophy behind it?
I mean, for me, it did because the place I went to opened up more opportunities for what I'm into.
Okay,
you see what I'm saying?
Because it's a prison area.
Yeah, because you're looking at you got the prison area, so you got the prisons. You got 3 or 4 youth facilities, homes. You got a River Bend. You got another boys academy here too. So you got youth descend. Then you look right up the street at Cameron. Cameron got the 2 prisons. Okay. Then you got Maryville right up the street as well. Maryville got the treatment center, and then on top of that, the business circle, like the Cup of Joe and the business circle in St. Joe was more welcoming with their arms open than in Sedalia. They probably would be. I would think. I ain't gonna say this is true, but I was thinking that they would be more reflecting on who I used to be, not more who I was. So I just came somewhere where you don't know me. It's kind of like I don't know nobody. They don't know me. I got a fresh start, and hey, let's go ahead and make this happen.
Straight up. You think it elevated? You think it made you run faster towards it, that you didn't have no distractions?
Oh yeah, most definitely did. Most definitely. I ain't gonna say run faster, but it made me focus in more. So like I was always already focused, but it made me focus in more and kind of like go. I guess it would be moving faster because like this go for it. You know what I'm saying? Like I see this now. You know what I'm saying? Let me try this. Let me learn this. Sit down and talk to these people. And because I was already focused. The focus never went nowhere. It's just that I was able to learn more stuff now that I'm away, dealing with people in the environments that I'm in, and that are especially in business. I mean, just outside the reentry stuff, just in business in general, coming hearing other people's businesses, listening to other people how they built their business every week from where they came from, certain tips and stuff about business. Was some of the biggest things I got out of this move was on the business side, and then outside of that, I mean, I don't really go too many places now. I used to love going places, you know, even with the music, you know what I'm saying? We do music, you be on the road, traveling, hitting stages and stuff like that. I'm kind of the total opposite. Once I really figured out and found myself, my true self, I'm actually the opposite of what I used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm at home most of the time, unless it's got something to do with business or I'm out doing work with the community. I probably go back to the stadium maybe 3-4 times a year. And that's when our nonprofit's holding the events down there. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully next year it's going to be like 10, 15 if everything opens up. COVID kind of put a little dent in some things. So, you know, man, but hopefully next year we open it up, you know, so we get these events because we got some things lined up that, you know, we're looking to try to have done. But and overall, I think with me, I got more stability in the move. You know what I'm saying? Then I think I probably wouldn't have got if I would have stayed at home. You know what I'm saying? And I probably could because of my mindset. I just feel like I went to a place that's almost that's really double in size. And, you know, it's not small and, you know, I'm just open to opportunities. I can get to the city. I can get here. I can get there. And I surrounded myself with someone who helps me grow as well, you know what I'm saying, as in my fiance. So, you know,
Congratulations.
you know, so I just been like, you know, it's kind of like, hey, it's time to grow up, you know. Man, this is what time it is. Like I was telling you, then I'm in them groups every morning. So now that plays a role. So now I'm meeting people that's just out of state. And now I got like 30 days and I'm done. My federal paper's done. So now man. So now, because you're looking like I've been dealing with state probation, federal probation, or in state prison or federal prison since 2000. No break. You see what I'm saying? So now it's like it's come to a point where this gonna be the first times in 20 years that I ain't either been in prison or on probation or parole. And so now with the relationships that I built with these other business owners in different areas, now I'm able to really get out next year and do some traveling, you know what I'm saying, and actually show up into the places, you know, and I think 2021 is going to be a great year for me, man, honestly.
Oh, man. Congratulations, man. Yeah. Tell me, I'm watching you, man. I'm taking notes.
Man, I'm watching you too, man.
I'm taking notes, bro.
So, yeah, man. But I appreciate you coming on. If you got any last words, man, to the viewers that's watching, go ahead and let them know what you want them to know.
Like if you watching this and you watching this on behalf of Sims himself, man, Fool himself, like you got somebody that is willing to put their foot into the steps of progress, man, for not only his people but people. You know what I mean? Listen, man, it's not a light task to do, and if we're waging that, man, you probably want to listen to the man. You know what I mean? Like just be serious with you. Like I've learned a lot. I know there's a lot of other brothers that have listened to this brother before, man, and they probably learned a lot too, though. But you need to, like we just talked about, surrounding ourselves with good people. Listen, he's one of them, but you got to get that around you, man. You are only as good as the people that you surround yourself with, because if you're the smartest person in the room, you are definitely in the wrong room. So yeah, man, that's what I leave you guys with, man. Stay blessed, stay focused, and that's really it, man.
All right, man.
We check us out at the Lyrics Institute, lyricsinstitute.com. At any point in time, you can check out what we do.
Right. What we had to put that in the chat. What was it again?
Yeah, I'll drop it right on in there.
Yeah, spell it for us. So they can go ahead and know where to find you, where to hook him up. And y'all check Hollins out, man, because he's doing some amazing things out there. I'm talking about, man. Check in with him.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah. And on Facebook, Instagram, it's all Carl Hollins. You're not gonna miss me. All my content is about everything that fool on.
Yeah, check out his content. But I've been seeing them new videos that you've been posting too here.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
I said, Hollins coming through with him. But yeah, man, keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you sticking to what you believed in, what you stood firm in, what you had faith in. You got out here and did what you said that you was gonna do, what you've been planning to do. And a lot of people don't do that, man. And I'm so proud of you, man. I salute you and thanks for having on. Thanks for being a guest, bro. You know,
Sure,
if
man,
you ever need anything, just reach out.
Vice versa, man. Vice versa.
All right, King. You have a good one.
You too, bro.